Carter, 39th President of the United States, was born on October 1, 1924, in the small farming town of Plains in Georgia. He grew up in the nearby community of Archery. His father, James R. Carter, was a farmer and businessman, and his mother, Lillian Jordy, a registered nurse. He was educated in the Plains public schools. However, in the Navy he became a submariner, serving in both the Atlantic and Pacific. Jimmy Carter, on July 7, 1946, he married with Rosalind Smith. They have three sons: John William, James R., Doniel Jeffrey, and one daughter, Emily. However, when his father died in 1953, Carter returned to Plains. Before then, in 1962, he entered state politics, and 8 years later, he was elected governor of Georgia. Here, a little video of Jimmy Carter, the man of Plains.
The Camp David Conference should be renamed. It was the Jimmy Carter Conference. He worked harder than our forefathers did in Egypt building the pyramids.
After leaving office, many ex-presidents choose to sit back and rest on their laurels. Not former President Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter was the 39th President of the United States and a winner, like me, of the Nobel Prize for Peace.
Jimmy Carter was his name.
Bringing peace, permanent peace to Israel would be at the top of my list. How's that east and west? How's that this way? Okay, nail it.
I came to the Carter Center with a question. How can I save the world?
To come here and see how little work is being done in New Orleans, and this is a disgrace to our country, and I think we need to make sure everybody knows that not enough is being done. Primarily because of my policies. We were importing about 5 million barrels of oil per day, and now it's back up to 12 million barrels a day.
Bless you, Mr. President.
I don't think that the situation would be any better between us and Iran now if I had destroyed a major part of Iran with missiles. I have become increasingly concerned about what's going on in Palestine.
Former President Jimmy Carter is responding to the controversy flaring over his new bestseller on the Middle East.
Well, I want it to be both accurate and somewhat provocative.
Freedom comes with consequences.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for your courage.
Thank you. There had been a single day of peace talks in the Holy Land in 6 years. Not many people know it or care. I care.
By emphasizing ecology, efficiency in government, and the removal of racial barriers. Jimmy Carter announced his candidacy for president in December 1974 at the Democratic Convention. Jimmy Carter served as a president from January 20 in 1977 to January 20, 1981. Carter worked hard to combat the continuing economic, inflation, and unemployment by the end of his administration. Finally, he won in 2002 the Nobel Peace Prize. Carter and his wife create a service for help people.
Jimmy Carter, for me, was an excellent president because he fought for human people and for rights, especially for black people. Carter was actually one of the most honest presidents that people in the United States had. And actually, he always made things better. For me, he was a competent and always realistic